Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you how my son Nathan picks up the fork to eat his food from the plate to explain his functional movement after that. This is by me. I'm Hanan Al-Horani, and let's watch the video together first. So I'm gonna break up the steps to parts. So number one, Nathan picks up the fork with his dominant hand. The head and the neck are slightly flexion, 15 degrees, with shoulder adduction and slightly rotation, 35 degrees. The elbow is flexed 90 degrees and the wrist is flexed 40 degrees. The fingers are pinch and grasp slightly flexed 30 degrees and his ending finger slightly extended 20 degrees. This is a multiplanar position, sagittal plan for head and neck, slightly flexion, elbow flexion, wrist flexion, endings finger extended, and the rest of the fingers are flexion. For shoulder rotation is the transfer plan, and for the shoulder adduction is the frontal plan. The next one, Nathan used the fork to pick up food from the plate. The shoulder is a protraction, 15 degrees, and the elbow is a flexion, 90 degrees. The wrist is slightly flexed, 15 degrees, with the finger slightly extended, 20 degrees. The body shifted forward 40 degrees, and his um, other um, fingers are flexed 20 degrees. And as I said, endings finger slightly 20 degrees. The body shifted forward 45 degrees. As I said also, this is called sagittal plan for elbow flexion, wrist flexion, and forward body shifted, and the transfer plan for shoulder protection. This one, Nathan brings the food with brings the fork with food to his mouth. The shoulder is depressed at 45 degrees with elbow flexion at 100 degrees. The wrist is supinated at 85 degrees and the endings finger slightly extended 20 degrees. And the other fingers are flexed 20 degrees or half a flexed, 30, actually half a flexed, 35 degrees, and the body shifted forward 25 degrees. This is a multiplanar position, frontal planar for shoulder depression, a sagittal planar for elbow flexion, forward body shifted, endings, finger extension, and the flexion for the other fingers. The transverse plan for wrist supination. Next movement, it is Nathan bites off the food from the fork and chews. So the neck is flexed 40 degrees, the shoulder is abduction 20 degrees, the elbow is extended 90 degrees, the wrist is pronation 90 degrees, the endings finger is flexed 45 degrees, and the other fingers are flexed also 55 degrees. The jaw is depressed 35 degrees, and I'm gonna show you when it is his jaw elevation 35 degrees. This is a multiplanar position for the sagittal plan. It is neck is flexed, the elbow extended, the endings finger flexed, and the jaw depressed and elevated. For the frontal plan, the shoulder abduction. For the transfer plan, the rest is pronation. The last movement was Nathan returned the fork to the table. The shoulder is abduction 20 degrees and the elbow is extension 90 degrees with return the body back. The wrist is pronation 100 degrees, and ending's finger is slightly extended 40 degrees. And then the rest for the fingers are extended 100 degrees. This is a multi-planar for frontal plan, for shoulder abduction, sagittal plan for elbow extension and finger extension, and transverse plan for wrist pronation. I'm gonna talk about the contextual factors. So, person factor, it depends about the age and development stage. So Nathan is 12 years old and he is a teenager. Cognitive factors like understanding how to use the fork and it is the purpose of it. So Nathan used how to use the fork and the purpose of it, it is to eat his food by the fork, not by his fingers. The size and the weight for the fork or the food, it might affect how easy for the adults and difficult sometimes for kids to manipulate. So it was a good size and weight for Nathan to manipulate it. Performance skills, fine motor control and coordination. Critical is grasping and using a fork. Nathan has a fine motor control and coordination to grasp and use the fork. Environmental factors. Physical environment, the type of a chair or table Nathan sits at. Is the table too high or low for optimal arm movement? So the chair and the table are good size for Nathan's movement. The plate size, and it is positioned on the table. Does he needs to lean in, or his food is easy to access? The plate size and the position are good for Nathan, but he likes to lean in a little bit to reach his food. Culture environment, cultural practices around eating, use fork versus eating with hands. Nathan likes to use the fork, not eating in his fingers or his hand. Social norms or pressures might influence eating behaviors, such as eating in front of others. Nathan has no problem eating in front of others. Adjustment environment, the child could be seated in a chair with adjustable height to ensure his arm movement are not restricted by his foot position. So for Nathan, the height of the chair and the table is acceptable for his arm movement. Consensual adjustments. If the fork is too large for a kid hand, we have to provide a child size fork could improve his ability to perform the task. Nathan was fine with the chair high and the fork size. At the end, what I learned from all of that, it is how complicated simple tasks like eating are. Using fork involves complex coordination of fine motor skills, which may seem automatic for an adult, can be challenging for children. The importance of early intervention and adjusting environmental or contextual factors to optimize performance could realize something as seemingly simple as changing the height of the chair or fork size can significantly impact a child's ability to engage in self-feeding as an improvement takeaway. So I'm gonna show you one more time a slow motion how to do it. This is a slow motion to see his movement, functional movement. Thank you for watching, everyone.